Fereydun stood. He lifted his head toward the sun, drawing strength from its light. He tightened his belt, not just for war, but for the inherited wrath of years past. It was the 6th day of Khordad. A fresh wind blew from the Alborz mountains, carrying the scent of beginnings. From afar came the rumble of elephants and buffalo. The earth trembled beneath the army's feet. Spears shifted in the sunlight. Riders held their breath. Kayanush and Pourmaye, his elder brothers, flanked Fereydun, silent, ready. Their steps were swift, their hearts loud. It seemed the earth itself pulsed with them. In every gaze there was something beyond rage, a sense of justice, a sense of ending. Their path led to the Arvand River, a roaring current like a heartbeat that keeps history alive. Beyond it, the city of Baghdad waited, silent. Fereydun reached the river's banks. "Prepare the boats," he said. "We cross at once." The guard bowed, trembling. Zahhak forbids any passage without his consent. Fereydun fell silent. Anger rippled in his eyes. He mounted his swift horse and rode into the river. His companions followed, resolute. The waves rose, the current pressed, but they did not falter. On the far shore, soaked but determined, they pressed on toward the palace. A palace rose in the distance, taller than mountains, brighter than stars. Fereydun knew this was the enemy's lair. He thought, whoever built such a palace on dark soil hides a great secret. We must act swiftly. He grasped his heavy mace and charged. The palace guards fell back instantly, unable to resist. Fereydun entered. He removed every symbol that bore a name other than the creator's. Sorcerers tried to stop him, but he cleared his path, set foot upon the throne, and placed the Kiani crown upon his head. From the dark chambers, 2 maidens, Arnavaz and Shahnameh, were freed. Their fear lifted, their eyes opened to hope. "Who are you to enter so boldly?" they asked. "No throne lasts forever," Fereydun replied. "I am the son of Abtin. I am here to end tyranny, guided by justice and my own strength." He listened to the maiden's account of Zahhak's sorcery and plans. His mind sharpened, his heart was firm. The battle to restore justice and freedom had begun. Fereydun sat upon the throne. The city was liberated. A loyal man named Kandaro approached and revealed all he knew. "Prepare the feast, call the musicians, let the worthy stand beside me," Fereydun commanded. Joy and hope flowed through the hall. But then Kandaro set out for Zahhak's camp. He reported to the warlord, "3 proud men with an army from another land have come. One of them, the youngest but of unmatched excellence, sat upon your throne with a mace in hand and examined your order and laws." Zahhak laughed and said, "Perhaps he is a guest. Let him be welcomed." Kandaro replied, "What kind of guest arrives with such authority and reviews your order? He sits with the maidens in the hall, and every decision he makes is measured and bold." These words angered Zahhak, but he knew the time of confrontation was near. Through his own courage, Kandaro showed the path of change, and the seed of final battle was planted in Zahhak's heart. Zahhak, enraged by the exchange, immediately turned toward the palace. Night passed, and day arrived. He ordered swift horses saddled and set out with a heavy army of demons speeding forward. Through hidden routes, he surrounded the palace and prepared his revenge. When Fereydun's army learned of this, they all charged toward that narrow pass. They dismounted and faced Zahhak's forces in that confined space. The city rose up. From rooftops and doors, all who could stand came forth in support of Fereydun, hearts heavy with the suffering of dark years. Stones fell from walls, bricks from roofs, and arrows and blades poured from alleyways. No safe place remained. Experienced elders and battle-ready youth unanimously joined Fereydun's army. A cry rose from the fire temple. "Even if a king sits on the throne, we heed Fereydun's command. We no longer want Zahhak." City and army came as one solid mass onto the field. Dust darkened the sun. Defeated, Zahhak abandoned the battlefield and returned to the palace. He donned iron armor to avoid recognition, took a long rope, and climbed onto the roof. There above he saw Shahnameh beside Fereydun, her lips uttering curses against Zahhak. The fire of envy burned within him. He threw the rope toward the hall and descended recklessly. In his hand gleamed a sharp dagger, ready to strike. But at that moment Fereydun arrived like a storm. He raised the bull-headed mace and delivered a crushing blow. Zahhak's power crumbled. Suddenly, a heavenly voice arose. "Stay your hand. His time of death has not yet come. Bind him and take him to the high mountains. Keep him captive, far from people." Fereydun did not delay. He brought a sturdy chain and bound Zahhak so tightly that escape was impossible. Then he sat upon his throne and abolished his impure customs. He ordered a proclamation: "The war is over. Let all who are wise lay down their weapons. Soldier and craftsman are not the same. That tyrant is now in chains. Return to your lives in peace." The people heeded the king's command. The city's leaders, from the wealthy to the skilled, came before him with gifts and hearts at ease. Fereydun offered counsel and invoked the name of the divine. "This throne shines with your support. God sent me from the Olbors to free the world from the dragon's grasp. Those who receive mercy must act with goodness. I am the guardian of this land and will not remain in one place." The city's elders bowed their heads, and the sound of drums rose. The army departed without taking anything from the city. Zahhak, bound and humiliated, was thrown over a beast of burden and taken toward the mountains. Again, the heavenly voice whispered in Fereydun's ear, "Take him alone to Damavand." Fereydun took Zahhak to the mountain and bound him in a narrow, dark cave. He fastened chains into the mountain rock and kept him there for many long years. And so Zahhak's name crumbled, and the world was freed from his shadow.
This darkness did not arrive suddenly. The people themselves placed Zahhak upon the throne, not out of malice, but out of fear, out of weariness, out of a naive hope tethered to power. Zahhak promised, and in return took years. He took blood, he took sleep, and from hearts he took courage. A generation grew in the shadow that saw oppression as habit and silence as the path to salvation. A millennium passed, a millennium full of anguish, full of unheard cries and truths buried beneath the soil. Then Fereydun came, not as a miracle, but as a result, the result of pain, the result of a belated awakening. Zahhak left, but the price of freedom was as heavy as a millennium. And this warning remains: if you seek freedom too late, history settles its price ruthlessly. Freedom is not reaching out to a foreign savior. Salvation does not come from outside. Whoever fixes their gaze on an external redeemer merely chooses a new shape of chains. And not everyone who speaks the name of freedom is Fereydun. Some change their faces, offer new promises, but in the end, forge a path that leads back to Zahhak. Freedom you either keep yourself, or under another name, you lose it. The dark millennium ended, but understanding freedom remains our trial.